Yesterday, the Supreme Court gave their opinion upholding birthright citizenship. And there were a lot of African Americans or Black people, Black Americans, who were in my comments upset about me being happy about the ruling. And I want to be able to explain some things because some of the reasons why they were upset that I, as a Black American, African American, was celebrating the birthright citizenship ruling was because they were like, this had nothing to do with us, as in African Americans or Black people. One, two, we are descendants of slaves. We built this nation. We built this country. So birthright citizenship being overturned would not have impacted us. And I want to be able to paint a better picture for those who are Black or African American that don't understand why them upholding birthright citizenship impacts us first and foremost. Now, one thing that you have to understand is that a lot of the immigration laws, immigration rights, and things of that nature are directly because of us. Because of us. We were mass immigrants, okay? To put it in terms that are simple for people to be able to understand a one-on-one, okay? African Americans, Black people, descendants of slaves, were mass immigrants. But let me tell you why we were not citizens. Dred Scott decision is what told everyone that Black people were 3/5 human and therefore confirmed our ability to be property. Okay, they removed our humanization and marked us as property. We had a $ value to each of us. We could not vote. We could not be in the town square. We could not read. We were not governed by laws where decisions could be made because we had no decisions. The laws that governed us, our people, our ancestors, were slave laws, also known as property laws. Property laws. That's why when we ran away, we could be returned to our owner. To our owner, okay? So, what did the 14th Amendment do? It gave us citizenship. That's what it did, right? It gave us citizenship. And what people need to understand is that all the way up to the War for Independence, there was mass discussions about sending slaves or descendants of slaves back to Africa. So while we are so far removed, I want you to know that the reason why white people, some of them, state you should return back to Africa is because that's always been a thing. So I'm going to help readjust your mentality in that they never saw Black people as being owners of the American dream, owners of America, period, right? So you have Dred Scott that's going on, right? The reason why they stopped trying to send us back when the War for Independence was going on is because we could be utilized to win.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Actually, guys, immigrants are so furious after running that birthright citizen was made only for Black America. Of course, they are not happy with that. Let's dive in. The credit belongs to the owner of the videos. I'll be back with more commentary.
Post-win, all the way up to the Emancipation Proclamation. There was already discussions, once again, not amongst the slave owners, because they were never trying to let us go. But for those that were a part of the abolitionist movement, stuff like that, they were like, yeah, they should be freed. They should not live next to us, but they should be freed. So if we free them, what should we do then? We should send them back. We should send them back. All the way up to the Civil War. Now, by the time you see the Civil War coming on the scene, right, Emancipation Proclamation is rising up. You have nationally acclaimed Black leaders There was a black leader that was for us going back, found out the Civil War's finna happen. He said, oh, no, this is our land. Okay, no, we're part owners. We're not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere. We're gonna stay put right here. We're going to stay put right here. And we're going to fight for our stuff because we built this. We don't know that. We were open to go and find out about it. But now, since y'all got something different on the table, we going to go ahead and sit real tight. Okay? We're going to fight. We're going to hunker down. We're going to go ahead and grind this out to try to figure out what does freedom look like for us, for a land that we know, for oil that we've toiled, for soil that we have bled in. We're going to stay here. And even after that, we still weren't considered citizens. We still weren't having the rights to be able to vote, my friend. We still were not considered to be Americans. In March is the 14th Amendment, birthright citizenship. That means that if you were born on this soil, you are an American citizen. So what gave us citizenship was the fact that we were born on the soil, not the fact that we were born to Americans, because we were never American until after the 14th Amendment. And I need you to grasp that. So while you have some people that say, oh, this has nothing to do with black people because we're the descendants of slaves, I need you to understand what you are saying. Yes, we are the descendants of slaves, not Americans. You tracking? So while they're saying in our face, oh, black people, you're safe, this has nothing to do with you, the 14th Amendment has everything to do with us. Because I mark myself American, not because my ancestors were American, but because the 14th Amendment said that my ancestors were born on this soil and therefore they are American. Period. Hope I cleared that up for you, my friend.
This one's for my black Democrats. You want to know why black Americans can't get ahead in this country? Look no further than Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson. Today, SCOTUS struck down Trump's birthright citizenship order. Clarence Thomas wrote a 91-page dissent arguing the 14th Amendment was built specifically as a remedy for freed slaves, not a blanket rule for anyone who touches American soil. Unfortunately, Jackson clapped back, accusing Thomas of abandoning his colorblind philosophy by suggesting the Citizenship Clause was a race-conscious remedial measure meant only for freed slaves. But think about what she's actually arguing for. She's not fighting to protect what the amendment was built for. She's fighting to dilute it. The 14th Amendment was not an accident. It was payment. It was this country saying, you built this nation in chains. You and your descendants are owed citizenship. Full stop. No asterisk. That was our slice of the American dream, which we earned in the hardest way possible. Instead of protecting that legacy, Jackson siding with the reading that hands the same birthright, no debt owed, no history behind it, to a tourist who flies in, has a baby, and flies home. That's the trade black Democrats keep signing up for. Dilute your own hard-won inheritance in the name of inclusion, or the delusion of inclusion, as I like to call it. Then you wonder why your position in this country never gets stronger. You can't build generational standing if you keep giving away the thing that made your standing special in the first place. You know how I roll. It's facts over feelings, and I'm paying attention, and this is embarrassing.
Yeah, guys, actually, this is the part of America history that people needs to understand. After slavery, Black America had just come out generation of being treated as property and denied full citizenship. Then that's why many people think like this birth citizenship was made for them. And again, many people had opportunity to come because of this opportunity. They have opportunity to have that right to. And what's so sad is like there are people who are still not like treating them good, like appreciating them, because thank God you are there. It's because of them. Actually, this is what many people need to understand and get. Let's keep watching, guys.
The law was made for children born to freed slaves, not illegal immigrants who came here to give birth. I'm going to hazard a guess that you did not read the SCOTUS opinion on birthright citizenship. I have. So here are some random law things about the 14th Amendment and birthright citizenship that you and others like you should know. First, let's dispense with the easiest bit of misinformation that this comment continues to perpetuate, and it's the idea that the 14th Amendment grants citizenship to undocumented or illegal immigrants. The 14th Amendment grants citizenship to the baby that is born in the United States, not to the parents who are undocumented. Second, the law, by which I presume you mean the 14th Amendment of the United States, wasn't passed simply to ensure that formerly enslaved people enjoyed citizenship. You know how I know this? Because it doesn't say so. Literally no words related to enslaved people in the 14th Amendment. If Congress wanted to limit it to this specific purpose, they could have easily done so. By your logic, the next time you need an oil change, you'll tell the mechanic, please build me an entire car. You would not do that, and neither did Congress. Third, as set forth in the SCOTUS opinion that you did not read, the idea of birthright citizenship, the law of the land, had been around for hundreds of years before the 14th Amendment was passed. We inherited our laws from England. Given that the United States literally comes from England, it shouldn't come as a surprise that our laws borrow heavily from England as well. One of the first things we learn in law school. That's why the Supreme Court states that the story of citizenship in the United States begins with English law. Under English law, a foreign mother could enter the British Isles, give birth, and leave with her child the very next day, and that child would remain a British subject. Contrary to what you are suggesting, birthright citizenship was the law of the land for over 100 years before the 14th Amendment was even passed. For 100 years, this law remained undisturbed, but then racism happened. As the SCOTUS opinion you didn't read makes clear, the existing law made no distinction on account of race or color. But a bunch of racist judges decided they were going to ignore the law of the land and say, you know what? I don't want black people to be citizens. They didn't even try to hide their racism. Literally said that the taint of their blood prevented them from being U.S. citizens. Congress decided that they were gonna, you know what? Dot their I's and cross their T's and get a 14th Amendment passed. They didn't pass the 14th Amendment to create a new law. They did it in order to prevent racists from rewriting the existing one. And I gotta tell you, I'm glad that they did, because racists are racisting again, and I wanna know, whose side do you wanna be on? You know that the Trump administration's lawyers literally cited to white supremacists in their arguments against birthright citizenship. The persons they cited openly believed that black people shouldn't be allowed to vote. One of them believed that Chinese people were insufficiently civilized and therefore unworthy of U.S. citizenship. Are those the people you want to side with? Congress passed the 14th Amendment because they predicted rightfully that the United States would, at some point in its history, try to break its promise, as they did with Black Americans right after the Civil War, and as they did with Asian Americans during the Chinese Exclusion Act. It is precisely because the 14th Amendment says what it does, not what you seem to hallucinate that it does, that SCOTUS definitively.
I love when immigrants comes on underneath my comments and say, oh, you're next. First of all, you need to go learn your history. And that is why we don't like you. And you don't like us, and that's great. You don't even take the time to learn our history. And you don't even know that if it wasn't for our 14th Amendment, you would not be able to come over here, have babies, and gain birthright citizenship for your children. And we're the reasons why you were able to even come over here and get a green card, set up shop, and send money back to your family. Why do you flee? Why can't you build in your own country? And then you want to say, oh, we come to America for opportunities. Why did you leave your country to come over here and do that? Answer that. We are the strongest ethnic group in the U.S. that can't be touched. We're the only ones where if a news anchor says the N-word, they're getting canceled. They're getting fired. They're losing their income over a black person. You're mad. We can't be touched. You're upset. We can't be touched. The amendment has been enacted.
Yeah, guys, to the immigrant who came to America, actually, you need to understand the history of the country come first, and you need to understand that you are enjoying this America dream, this life, thanks to Black America who fought for this. And Black America fought against slavery and segregation and helped transform American law and society. So I really feel like you guys, you should be grateful than you are. And if you are immigrant building life here, you have to respect them, like treat them right, and don't even like buy all the story they tell you to manipulate you, to hate them, because this is what they want. And these people, you should know, like, you are here because of these people. You should know, you should be grateful. Without them, you'll not be here. That's what I think, guys. I don't know what you think. Let me know what you think in the comments. Subscribe to the channel if it's your first time. I will see you next one as always. Bye.